possibly a little too windy to do a Q&A on the bike. Happy working out. Proof of sweat. Hello and welcome to my first Q&A on this Proof of Sweat channel. I just thought I would answer some of your questions about why I am doing so much cycling. And yeah, let's just get into it. Does your body adapt to cycling a lot every day, or does the tiredness keep on coming? No, the tiredness definitely gets less, depending on how far you're pushing yourself. So if you're being really consistent, your body will adapt. Obviously, if you just keep being like overeager and pushing yourself beyond your means, then yeah, you'll keep being tired because your body just doesn't have a chance to recover. But with what I'm doing, which is very minimal in the grand scheme of things, I'm allowing my body to adapt. So like the first few rides that I did, first long hilly rides here in Girona, I was wrecked afterwards, and now I'm not so wrecked, which is great. After I do, a relatively hilly 3-hour ride, I will be able to do things afterwards, which my first few I really couldn't. So yeah, your body adapts, but as long as you give it enough time to rest. When grinding the gears up steep climbs, what song is playing in your head? I don't go up too many horrendously steep climbs. However, I just think of me singing and cycling along with my friend Sean Lewis, the girl outdoors, and we just always sang Taylor Swift. So I'll just say Taylor Swift for that one. How to get started for someone who has literally no clue about cycling. If you're thinking about cycling, particularly road cycling, then I would watch it. Watch the Tour de France. Have a look. Do you love the look of the bikes? Do you love the look of the kit? Because it is a bit of a lifestyle as well as a sport, and there are a lot of unwritten rules, and yeah, it can obviously be a lot more laid back than those guys take it, obviously. But yeah, if you're interested in cycling, then just think about which discipline you'd actually like to get involved in, and then maybe you've got a friend who has one of those bikes. Maybe it's mountain biking. It doesn't have to be road cycling. And you just try it out, and then maybe head to a store and, see what they have available for you, because I think cycling is the best sport for everyone, because it's not going to ruin your knees like running is. And yeah, there are just so many different types and disciplines of cycling that you should just start researching. There's a lot of YouTube content. Definitely check out Francis Cade. He has an incredible amount of sort of what to do as a beginner cyclist videos. So yeah. What do you think about bikepacking, and would you attempt some longer trips? Yes, I very much want to do bikepacking. I have this insane dream that I will one day cycle around the world. I'd rather not do it alone, but I remember watching Mark Beaumont cycle around the world. I know he's done it twice now, and it just really inspired me. I loved the idea of maybe doing slightly more Alistair Humphreys kind of bikepacking, where he went around and it took him like 4 years. But maybe I can't afford to do 4 years of going around the world, but who knows. I would definitely like to do bikepacking, and yeah, there'll be more on that soon. How do you go about increasing the distances you can handle? Well, you have to push your body a little bit further than maybe you think you could go. The first ride I ever did on my road bicycle was 30 miles, and I don't think I'd ever cycled more than 10 maybe. And just suddenly we were on a group ride and the route was 30 miles and I just had to do it. I don't recommend that necessarily, depending on where your fitness is at, but that got me hooked because I came back and I was like, I just cycled 30 miles, you know. So whatever floats your boat really, but you really need to be careful and, you know, definitely seek some advice if you have some friends who are into cycling, and check out cyclists on YouTube and what they recommend. But yeah, you just have to, just like with any fitness, you just push yourself a little bit beyond what you are actually capable of, and then let yourself recover, and then, you know, do it again, and you'll find it a little bit easier. And then you just keep going. Never stop. You're never allowed to stop. Have you ever tried a fixed gear bicycle? I have tried one. I haven't tried a proper fixie. I would love to. And do you ever mountain bike? Always see you on a road bike. I used to mountain bike. I just don't enjoy it, if I'm completely honest. I love the idea of gravel biking. But mountain biking, I just felt a little bit nervous about falling off a little too often, because the bigger the jumps, the more I was stressed, the more I would put my foot out or whatever, and then I'd just end up on the floor. And me putting out my wrist or landing awkwardly is a little bit worrying because of guitar playing, so I always have to be conscious of that. And also, I love switching off on the bike. I know it sounds weird, obviously I'm concentrating when I'm going downhill at like 40 miles an hour, but with mountain biking it just felt too technical all the time. And with road cycling, especially in Girona, the roads are so smooth, it's much more like meditation for me. So that's how I see cycling. It's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I won't say never again to mountain biking, but I just don't think I'm not a mountain biker. My friend Alina asks, what do you love most about cycling? I love the freedom and I love the challenge, because you get to see things that no one else is seeing at the time that you're seeing them. You get to ride through landscapes that look like postcards and no one else is there. Sometimes you're just like in the middle of nowhere and you're looking around and you're like, I'm the only person on the planet in this location right now. How am I so lucky to be able to look at all the things that I'm looking at? And then in terms of pushing yourself, I now climb mountains. Like, they're little mountains around here, but like they're still like, they're real climbs. You know, Els Angels is basically an hour of uphill. If you're super fit, it's a lot less than an hour, but when I'm just going steadily and keeping a low heart rate, it's just a solid hour of just going uphill. And I just really love that challenge. And I love the idea of just doing further and further and further and just climbing a lot. And yeah, I love pushing myself in that way. And it's been the one sport that I felt really just quietens my mind. So there we go. Many reasons why I love cycling. Have you signed up for any events? Ride London, Grinduro, Wales? I hope that's how you pronounce it. No, I don't have any events in the books because I just want consistency right now. And I have done a lot of centuries in the past, you know, the sort of organised 100-milers, which have been really fun. But yeah, I don't really feel the need to sign up to one of those events to motivate me. I just really want like every week just to be really consistent, and yeah, it's much more for myself than it is anything else. So I'm not going to say never to events because I've got some like goals in mind, but no, not yet. Now that you're properly set up, do you want to keep your Aubert or find something new? I want to find something new. I might have something on my mind, and I love my Aubert greatly, but I've had it for 11 years and I've cycled thousands of miles on it, and I think I've suffered enough because bikes have improved somewhat, and yeah, they're a lot lighter and a lot more comfortable nowadays. So Yeah, the setup was because, as Francis Cade told me and tells the internet, you should get your bike fit done before you buy a bike. So fit first, buy later. And that's exactly what I did. And it's been delayed because finding the right bike has been quite a challenge. Finding something suitable, because I don't need anything too racy, I don't need anything too super pro, although I love the look of pro bikes. But yeah, I think I found something. I think I found 2 bikes actually. One for road, one for gravel. Don't judge me. But yeah, I might be going from no bikes for the past 11 years to 2 bikes. Ever thought about going for Everesting? I still need to find that sort of motivation. So if you don't know, Everesting is basically where you find a hill, ascend it and descend it as many times and as quickly as you can, so that you end up climbing a total of the height of Everest, which is 8,848 meters. Now, I will say on a standard ride, I want to say I don't think I'd even climb maybe 600 meters. Maybe that's even being a lot because I usually use feet, but Everesting is insane, and it usually takes really, really fit guys between 10 and 12 hours to do it. So 10 and 12 hours of going up and downhill. I won't say never, but in one go, I am not fit enough to be able to handle that yet. It would just wreck me a little bit too much. But yeah, I think it would probably end up taking me a lot longer than 12 hours too. So am I willing to push myself for that amount of time? But hey, look, I'm stupid. I've done really stupid, dumb stuff in the past. So I would probably attempt one, definitely. Probably before the end of the year. If I'm really honest with myself, am I going to do that? Yeah, I think I might. But first I'm going to start with smaller challenges and just get myself to maybe that level of fitness. Oh God. Yeah, I probably will do it. I'm just really inspired by Jack Ultracyclist right now, who's going to cycle, well, he's going to climb 1,000,000 meters this year. 1,000,000 meters. If you don't know what that means, then go and check out his YouTube channel because it's phenomenal, and he's raising money for a number of charities, and it's a really great cause, and I'm gonna donate. But yeah, he's doing like an Everesting every week. So it kind of is, it's kind of frustrating because it's like, oh, he just did another Everest. No biggie. Whereas an Everesting is insane. Like one a year would be a lot, and he's doing one every week, plus extra climbing to get that 1,000,000 meters. So anyway, Jack, if you happen to watch this, I think you're insane, but I also am totally inspired and in awe of you. And my friend Tristan as well has an incredibly beautifully made vlog about him climbing the back of Els Angels, which is a climb I go up and down quite a lot. He did it 27 times to test out his new BMC, and the vlog is spectacular and really just takes you on through the journey, and it sort of ends with him climbing through the night, and there's just this shot and this music of him just going up, and it looks kind of like he's traveling through space. And yeah, this is really in awe of some of the people here in Girona. They just have superhuman days. That's what I call them. Superhuman days. How and when did you get into cycling? I watched the Tour de France in 2011 when Mark Cavendish won the green jersey, and I was on holiday with my family in Spain, actually, and my dad was just teaching me about the Tour de France. He was telling me that it's not just about the first person that crosses the line each day, it's a much bigger thing than that, and he told me about all the different jerseys, all the different competitions within it, how it's an individual sport but they all have teams and all this stuff, and I just really fell in love with it. I fell in love with Mark Cavendish and his personality as well, and his sort of like arrogance, as it were. I just thought he was, I don't know, he just really motivated me to get into the sport. So I went back to where I was going to university. Oh, it's my watch telling me to be mindful. I am being mindful right now. Went and bought a bike from, I think it was like Bike UK. I'm not even sure if it's still a thing in Bristol. And I remember walking up White Ladies Road, just pushing this bike that I didn't even know how to ride. And then the first time I got on it, I was on the Downs in Bristol, and the wind was just, it nearly knocked me off, and I was terrified. But then I joined the cycling club, and yeah, made a few friends, and then they took me around and babysat me for a little bit, and then I upgraded from, I don't know, normal pedals with like I don't know how to describe them, where it's like a shoe cage, to cleats, learning how to clip in, clip out. And yeah, just slowly upgraded parts of my bike. And I've just always loved it. I've just never been like that consistent with it. So I really wanted to come to a place like this where riding your bike is just so easy. To be honest, I was inspired to change my environment after reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. So yeah, go where the bikes are ridden, and Girona is that place. Okay, final question. How often and how far do you usually ride? It really depends. Again, I've learned a lot by coming here and asking really serious, either elite or pro cyclists, and talking to them about how I actually change my body to be able to cycle as well as they can. Obviously, I'll never be a pro athlete level. But yeah, it's just all about consistency. So I've been told, and I am not a coach, so don't necessarily follow these rules for yourself, but I've been told that I need to do basically 10 hours every week. 10 just solid, easygoing hours. And the easygoing part is actually incredibly hard because I have never, ever actually been in zone 2 for my heart rate. So that's been a really tough lesson of actually how calmly, how slowly you need to cycle to let your body adapt and burn fat rather than just carbohydrates all the time. And yeah, I'm learning the hard way. Like, it's been really tough, especially when you're traveling and working. 10 hours, it's quite a long, it's quite a difficult amount of time. However, last week the weather was incredible, and I had a lot on my mind, so I cycled for 15 hours and did like 12,000 feet of climbing. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to just like take that and just keep running with it. But yeah, it's been a really interesting lesson, and yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing how naturally it's coming to me and how great it feels. Again, my watch is now telling me, ooh, I've achieved my stand goal, and I'm not standing right now. What can I say? I don't really know how many miles I do because it really depends on the route. There are a lot of hills around here, so you know, I can sometimes average, like, if it's loads of climbing, it'll be like 10 miles an hour average if I'm being really, really chill. And then sometimes if I'm just doing like an hour loop that's super flat, I'll be like 16, 17 miles an hour, but then it depends on traffic lights. It just doesn't, the miles an hour thing, weirdly enough, just doesn't matter. It's much more about like how many hours and just how many hours you're getting in your legs. So I'm just learning a lot, and a lot of amazing people have taken me under their wing, and they're just, yeah, I think they're happy to share what they've learnt and dispel any myths. So yeah, I'm just being a normal person riding my bike and just trying to get fitter and healthier. And yeah, I'd love to do some really extreme challenges on the bicycle, but just literally for myself, not for anything in particular. And that's why I started this Proof of Sweat channel, because I just want to show someone who's not a pro athlete, like, I was incredibly overweight as a kid. I've always struggled with that, and really now I just cope with life and I cope with life by doing exercise rather than worrying about how it affects my body image. And yeah, I guess that's what Proof of Sweat is. It's not really about using it for some other reason. It's just about doing it for your mental health, really. And then by proxy, it improves your physical health, and yeah, everything just sort of gets a little bit better with exercise. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this Proof of Sweat Q&A, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more questions. Please comment below if you have any more or if I've forgotten anything. But otherwise, I'll see you very soon.